Hello and welcome! I am so excited to share this story with you today. It's an amazing one, all about a fun day of playing that takes a sudden turn into a super scary life or death emergency. It's a story about a hero, his friends, and a danger so big, it seemed like there was absolutely no way out.
Just think about it for a second. Maybe you were playing hide and seek and got a little lost, or maybe a fun game just suddenly started to feel a little too real. Well, something just like that happens to our friends in this story, but on a much bigger scale.
So let's picture this. We're in the beautiful land of Vrindavana. The sun is shining, and Krishna, his big brother Balarama, and all of their friends are just having the best day ever. They're running, they're laughing, they're playing all these games. They really don't have a single care in the world.
And here is our very first Sanskrit word of the story. The boys, who are all cowherd boys, are called the Gopa. Can you try saying that with me? Gopa. Awesome. So the Gopa were so into their games. I mean, they were so totally focused on having fun that they kind of forgot about everything else.
Yup. You see, being cowherd boys, they had one really important job to do. But right in the middle of all that fun, they just completely forgot about it. Any guesses what it might be?
They're cows, of course. And that brings us to our next Sanskrit word, gava. Go ahead, try it. Gava. Perfect. So, while the boys were playing, their precious cows, the gava, started to wander away, always on the lookout for some yummier grass to eat.
And you can see right here how one little thing turned into a really big problem. The cows were just looking for a better snack. But that little bit of greediness for fresh grass led them from one field to the next forest, getting deeper and deeper into the woods until, they were totally lost, thirsty, and very scared.
They wandered into a place that the story calls a Gahavaram. That's our next word. Let's say it. Gahavaram. It means a really thick and dense forest. You know, the kind of place that's super easy to get lost in? And this wasn't just any forest. It was full of tall, dry reeds, which is going to be important later.
And then the game stopped. The boys looked up, they looked around, and no cows. Their hearts just sank. Oh, they felt so awful, so guilty. Their animals, their job, their whole responsibility, they were gone. They were so worried and had no idea where to even begin looking.
So what do you do? Well, they had to turn into detectives. Krishna and Balarama led the way, and they started searching for clues. They looked for the hoofprints from the cows on the ground, which are called gopade, and they even looked for little blades of grass that the cows might have chewed on or stepped on. They followed every single tiny sign they could find.
And they did it! They found their cows in this place called the Munja Forest. Phew, what a relief! But that feeling didn't last very long, because now everyone, the boys and the cows, was exhausted, super thirsty, and stuck together in this really dangerous, really dry part of the woods. So Krishna used his big, powerful voice, a voice that sounded like rumbling thunder, and he called out to all the cows by their names. And the cows heard him. They started mooing back, so happy to be found. But just as everyone was about to get back together, something awful happened.
Out of nowhere, a huge fire just exploded all around them. The flames were enormous, being pushed by the wind, and these giant sparks were flying through the air like meteors from the sky. It was about to burn up every single living thing in that forest.
Can you imagine how scared they were? The cows and the boys were absolutely terrified. They were completely trapped by a wall of fire. So they did the only thing they could think to do. They cried out, "Krishna! Krishna! O most powerful one! Please, you have to save us. We're being burned."
You know, this really shows just how much they trusted him. They weren't just asking a buddy for help. No, they were putting their entire lives in his hands. They were crying out, "We're your friends. We are devoted to you. You are our only Lord and our only protector."
So what did Krishna do? Did he panic? Nope, not at all. He just calmly looked at all his terrified friends, and he gave them two simple instructions. First, he said, "Don't be afraid." And second, he told them, "Just close your eyes." That's it.
Can you imagine being surrounded by a raging fire and someone just tells you to close your eyes?
And now we get to the most amazing part of the whole story. While every single one of them stood there, with their eyes squeezed shut, just trusting their friend, Krishna, who could control all the power in the universe, simply opened his mouth and he swallowed the entire raging forest fire in one single gulp. The fire was just gone.
Then Krishna told them, "Okay, you can open your eyes now." And what they saw, well, it left them speechless. 1 second before, they were trapped and so scared in a forest that was on fire. The next second, the fire was gone. And they weren't even in that dangerous forest anymore. They were back in a safe place, completely okay. They were just amazed.
And right then, in that moment, the boys finally understood. Their friend Krishna wasn't just a regular kid like them. What he had just done, that was a super powerful, divine miracle. They realized he was something more. He was a superhero, a divine being who had just saved all of their lives.
As the sun started to go down, they all began to walk home. The scary adventure was finally over. Krishna took out his flute and started playing beautiful music, and the boys, just filled with so much wonder and thanks, they praised him and sang about his amazing heroic act all the way back to the village.
And when they got back, everyone was so happy to see them safe, especially the young girls of the village. This right here tells you just how much everyone loved him. For them, even a single moment without Krishna around felt like it was 100 years long. Seeing him return was the greatest happiness they could imagine.
So in the end, Krishna used his incredible special power to protect his friends right when they needed him the most. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. If you could have any superpower in the whole wide world, what would it be? And how would you use it to help a friend who was scared or in trouble? That's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.